Okay, good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to thank ACRAS committee for organization for this kind of invitation. It's really my honor to be here with such top-notch experts in the field. And allow me to introduce myself. I am Samah Ragab, Middle East Lead for Regulatory Affairs and PV in Organon Pharma. I have more than 18 years of experience in pharmaceutical field, public and private sector. First in the Egyptian Drug Authority in several functions like drug safety, drug registration, and now in Organon. Previously I was in MSD. Today I'm happy to chair this session with two of the experts in product vigilance. Our speakers today will talk about product vigilance. And as mentioned in the previous session by the speakers, that we witness now unprecedented number of people who are interested and empowered to use aesthetics products and to conduct aesthetics procedures. So our speakers today will talk about how to keep these products safe and effective for the end user through adopting of good vigilance practice. Allow me to introduce my first speaker, Dr. Marian Anwar. Marian is the Benefit Risk and Therapeutic Area Lead, Middle East and Africa at AbbVie Pharmaceutical. She is a strategic and she's an accomplished leader with more than 15 years of resounding success in pharmacovigilance, clinical research, medical affairs, and business development in pharmaceutical industry across the Middle East and Africa. Her career reflects scientific expertise in promoting the safe use of pharmaceutical products through PV system development, product vigilance, and risk assessment. Marian started her career as a medical representative in Cairo, in Egypt. Then she moved to Dubai, where she held several regional senior positions in different top multinational companies. She accomplished extensive knowledge of pharmacovigilance regulations, practices in the assigned territories with profound experience in quality control and management of PV procedures with high level of collaboration with relevant stakeholders, with track record of success in providing PV insights through safety assessments, regulatory compliance, PV partnerships, and drug safety. Please join me to welcome Marian on stage.
Thank you, Samah, for the introduction. And actually, I faced so many challenges to come today, starting from how I am not walking properly. But since I came actually and I sat there, I'm so happy. And I didn't regret at all that I insist I will come today despite all the challenges. Okay, my voice is not clear. So actually, I didn't regret that I insisted to come and be with you today. I'm really glad because since I'm here for 2 or 3 hours, the one word I'm hearing every minute, it's patient safety. It's consumer safety. So I do believe that this is our ultimate goal. And we are all here today, actually, to ensure the effective and safe use of our products in the market. Actually, my colleagues, Mohamed Aita and Nazila and all the other presenters make my presentation very easy. And the message I would like to share with you today became really very, very easy. Today, actually, I'm here to share with you that introducing vigilance to aesthetic world. It's very, very important topic, actually. Maybe nowadays we are more focused on pharmacovigilance when it comes to medicines, to pharma products. However, actually, it's the same concept we need to apply on medical devices and cosmetics products. Because at the end, this is the consumer or the patient who needs to make sure they are using the product in a safe and effective way. Let me start my presentation, and this is my disclaimer. As Justice Samah mentioned, I'm the Benefit Risk and Therapeutic Area Lead for Middle East and Africa region at AbbVie Pharmaceutical Company, so I'm working in full-time with AbbVie. However, my opinion today express my own opinion and do not reflect the opinion of AbbVie, and there is no any conflicts. This is the topics I would like to cover with you today. We will start with introduction, collection and assessment, importance for reporting adverse event, and I will give you some real examples of what we are really see every day and how this reflects the importance of reporting adverse event. And then the responsibility for all of us for reporting and minimizing the risk. At the end, I will summarize everything we discussed today in my presentation. So, actually, as I just mentioned, we all agreed today with all what we just shared together and we listened together that the vigilance activities and regulatory interventions are designed to have changes in the behavior and knowledge of the individuals, which is the consumers and patients, and also in the organizations in the healthcare practice, and this is to achieve the best health outcome for everyone. This is actually how it works. Interventions or collaboration between the vigilance activities and regulatory interventions. If you look at this diagram actually, and it always starts with the data, the safety data, the collection of the data and the reporting of adverse event. We need it actually. Without this box, we cannot proceed with any of those, if we can say, the sequence of vigilance activity. So it's always start with the data, reporting adverse event, some studies, media and network monitoring, which will lead us to knowledge about our products with some safety signals, publications, media and networks information. And those knowledge will go definitely to the patient or the consumer and will go to the healthcare professionals to change their behavior and their clinical practice. When those knowledge come into the regulation and under the regulations of the health authority, it will be translated to regulatory actions, appropriate communication, and risk management, which definitely will go also to the patients and the healthcare professional. Those regulation and communication and risk management will definitely have an impact and a great impact on the use of the product, appropriate use of our products. Whatsoever it's medicine, it's toxins, it's fillers, cosmetics products, but definitely this can be applied for anything. At the end, it will come to the public health, maximizing the benefits and minimize the risk of the use of our products, which definitely will go to the patient at the end and healthcare professional. But keep in mind that the patient or the consumer and the healthcare professional, they are our main sources of the data. Without them, we cannot have this data, which will go all this journey to give them the benefit. So it's a complete system, and it's connected together. We have different stakeholders, starting from the consumer and the patients, which sometimes we are the consumers and the patient. And it goes to the healthcare professional, the manufacturer company, and at the end, it will go to the public health at the end. This is the vigilance fundamental activity. And actually, I didn't call it pharmacovigilance, and intentionally I wrote it vigilance, because today my message is it's vigilance. Fillers, toxins, medicines, cosmetics products. This is our fundamental activities. It's a start with the collection and assessment of the safety information, which will lead us to implement risk management strategies to minimize the risk associated with the use of the product and end up with appropriate communication to the health authority and HSPs. And definitely this will be also communicated in an appropriate channels to the consumer and patient. And this is, at the end, will it change in the behavior of their knowledge and behavior of the patient and HSPs. I will actually, today, I will concentrate on the collection and assessment, because this is the first chain, which when we break it, or if we don't do it appropriately, the full cycle or chain will be broken. We cannot go into further assessment, analysis, investigation. We don't have appropriate global safety database to have assessment for our products and to provide our consumer with balanced safety profile so they can use it in a safe and effective way. Maybe the upcoming slides, you can feel it, it's very basic actually. What is the adverse event and what information you need to collect it. But my message today, how we apply this in the aesthetic world. We need to recognize the adverse event. And what is the definition of adverse event or the medical device complaint? Adverse event is any unwanted medical condition which happened when the patient or the consumer is on medication. Any medication, could be toxins, fillers, anything, and there is any unwanted medical condition happened. Could be symptoms, laboratory finding, anything can happen, which is actually could be even no causal relationship with this product. So it doesn't necessarily to have a causal relationship with the use of the product. So whether considered related to the product or not, it's an adverse event or medical device complaint, and we need to report it. But the issue is, typically, all of us, when we think about the complications or the adverse event, we usually think about the adverse event or the medical device complaint. However, the safety information is not limited to the adverse event and the medical device complaint. There is many other safety information. We need to report it, and we need to collect it appropriately so we can do assessment, analysis, and further investigation so we can mitigate any risks during the use of the product. Anyone know what else we need to report? What other safety information? Can I ask? So I want to make sure you are with me actually after the lunch, maybe. Anyone has any example? Yes, I can see. Product quality complaint, and what else? Very good, excellent examples. What else? That's fantastic. What else other safety information we need to report it, whether it's associated with adverse event or not? Even if there is no adverse event, but you are in front of those safety information, you need to report it. Any other information? Very good, thank you so much, because I will give, she said unexpected beneficial effect. This is perfect example actually, because it's very related to the toxins, and I will let you know how. So all those in the boxes are other safety information, very important and needs to be reported even it's not associated with adverse event. So we have also exposure during a pregnancy and breastfeeding, unexpected beneficial effect, misuse, abuse, medication error, use of any of our medical device product, death, off-label indication, and actually we see it a lot, especially in the aesthetic field. HCP actually using the toxins and fillers in off-label indication. I do believe we have so many regulatory affairs here, experts between us, and you know exactly what is approved in the label and what is off-label indication, which is not approved. We have also lack of efficacy, which is also very common, especially in aesthetic field, when we are dealing with the majority of our consumers, ladies, which is always not satisfied with the result when it comes to aesthetic field. So maybe it's a real report, and maybe it's just the consumer is not satisfied with the result. But for us as experts, we need to be aware that all those information, we need to report it because we need to do further investigation and analysis. Let me check again if you're still with me or I lost you. Okay. True or false? If someone reports to you that she has been taking fillers and recently learned that she has become pregnant, this would not be considered reportable safety information. What do you think? There is only a lady here is answering. Any other, it's false, true or false? Any other? So it's false. Actually, if you answer the false, you are correct because pregnancy is very, very important to be reported even if there is no adverse event. Once the patient or the consumer on any medication, even if it's a cosmetics or aesthetics, and became aware she is pregnant, we need to report this actually as a pregnancy report to follow up and see the outcome of the pregnancy. This is actually the basic information we usually look at or looking for when we are in front of any adverse event or any medical device complaint, and you need to report it. When you report it, actually, the more information you can collect, it's better. But sometimes, or in a certain situation, you are in front of minimal information. You don't have a lot of information. Please do not delay any reporting. You have to report and do your best actually to have this PrEP, patient identifiers, reporter details, event, which is the adverse event or the complication, and the product description, and please include the batch number. This is very important for the assessment and analysis and the tracking everything. And I will come actually to this, why we need the batch number in the coming slides, very, very important. Actually, I can remember someone here, but I don't know whom. We had question actually for the last session when the panel is here, the destination of the safety information. So we all agreed it's important to be vigilant, it's important to report what exactly we need to report. This is very, very important, but what is the destination? We have 3 destinations for this safety information, which is really very important. Number 1, the health authority needs to be informed. We need to report to the health authority because they are our main gate to regulate how we are using the products in the market. And they need to be aware of all the safety information and any reports to build a database, and then they can regulate the presence of the product in the market. And actually, we can see nowadays a lot of initiatives from the health authority across the Middle East to make this reporting easy for everyone, either for the consumer and the patient or for the manufacturer company, for the HCPs. They really, some of our health authorities start to have like application on the mobile, and you can easily report. Even this conference, for example, it's very, very important because this is also initiatives to raise the awareness for reporting safety information and adverse event. The HCP actually, they are very, very important destination for this safety information. Why? Because they have a lot of responsibility for managing those complications and to avoid even the recurrency or occurrence with other patients and the consumer. Definitely reporting adverse event and other safety information, very, very important for the manufacturer company. So we need to increase the awareness that all the consumer and the patients and the HCPs need to report any safety information that comes to their attention to the manufacturer company. Why? Because it's our global database, which helps us to maintain and to monitor the profile, the safety profile of the product, and put our strategy to minimize any risk. And definitely it's a legal and regulatory responsibility, and we need to comply with. So without this data and without this reporting, we cannot even comply to the regulations. Hopefully this slide actually answered the questions or helped to answer the question where actually when we have complications or adverse event, who should know or what is the destination of this safety information? This is the three main destinations actually. And here is the importance of reporting and some real examples. Let me just start by this one. Why? Why it happens? Why the complication happened actually? It could be related to the injector, maybe the experience, the techniques or HSP is using. Maybe it's related to the patient or to the consumer, any medical history. Maybe it's related to the product. And here the importance of reporting, because after receiving the data and the safety information and the required information, we can do the analysis, the assessment, the investigation, and then reach out to addressing those reasons. We might actually find that we need to increase, as Nazila just explained, education to the HSP, how to inject, how to manage complication, how to use it. It's very important. Maybe we need to track something else related to the product. And let's go to this part when it comes to the product. And here, do you remember the counterfeit beauty? But here, I'm talking about the counterfeit medicines or toxins or fillers or any product we are using. Actually, we all actually can face such kind of falsified products or counterfeit products. And here, the reporting responsibility is very, very important. So we can track those in parallel importation and illegal products which could be inside the markets and can be actually very harmful for our consumers and patients. So counterfeit products made by someone other than genuine manufacturer by copying or imitating an original product without authority or rights. Falsified products, fake products that are presented as real. And I have many examples actually. We see it every day when some people do really unethical, even with removing the label of certain medicine, put it to another one because it's cheaper, or more affordable, if we can say. And the other one, the more affordable one, actually the side effect is the opposite of the indication. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the falsified products reach to that extent? Actually, the HSP start to, I'm talking about this example specifically. It was like, I know it's not a static, but I will give you this example. It's for eye care products. And the medicine at the time for the indication for the eye pressure, the ocular pressure. And the other one, the other product, the side effect is to increase the eye or the ocular pressure. So when the doctor start to describe the medication to lower the ocular pressure, start to find that the patient start to have increase in the ocular pressure. Can you imagine the harmful effect of these falsified medicines? And I can't believe that some people can do such kind of counterfeit or falsified issues and how it's very harmful for the public health. But unfortunately, we are facing this every day. And this is our responsibility when we start to be vigilant. This is some examples. I want to share it with you. Publication regarding the toxins, actually. We have
Botulism outbreak in Egypt due to counterfeit botulinum toxin A preparation. Another one for adult, also botulism after cosmetic injection with unlicensed, highly concentrated botulinum toxin. And so many others. Clinical analysis of 86 botulism cases caused by cosmetic injection. I can't believe actually that I'm going to the doctor for cosmetics and then I go with botulism. And this is because of the counterfeit medicines, because of unlicensed medicines. So we need to increase the awareness regarding this, and we need actually to encourage everyone, when we see something like this, we need to report it. It's very important. The responsibility, report and minimize. Safety information received on marketed products is used by regulatory authority and manufacturer company to continually monitor the safety profile of the products. It's also actually used by the physician when they take the decision to prescribe the medicine or the products, and with the patient as well. Each one of us actually, when we try to use any aesthetic product or cosmetic products, I do believe we search about what is the safety profile of these products. I cannot go and use such kind of products without look at the safety profile. So it's a big responsibility. And at the end, actually, reporting safety information, while it's a legal and regulatory responsibility, but ultimately by fulfilling our reporting responsibility, we are serving ourselves, our community, our friends, our families, so it's even give us more responsibilities. And here actually how to minimize, or how we may minimize the complication. And this is take us again to the education, healthcare professional education, and everyone can be included or involved in such kind of procedures. This is a small tips, and I do believe there is so many other details, and we can actually arrange, and we can work with ACRAS team actually to arrange some workshop for the doctors, for anyone included in this procedures, how we can minimize the complication. This is very actually small tips: remove makeup, avoid use of makeup for minimum 12 hours, especially with fillers. Aseptic technique, actually washing hands, wear gloves, prepare skin with alcohol, and visibly assess the skin for any active bacteria or virus infection. It's our responsibilities, all of us. Either it's for reporting safety information or for contribute to minimize the complication and to manage it as well. Here, just to summarize our message for you today, vigilance activities and regulatory interventions are designed to change the behavior of the individuals and organizations in healthcare practice. It's your responsibility to recognize and report adverse event, medical device complaint, other safety information. Please look at the value you are adding by fulfilling the reporting responsibility. With small tips, we can also contribute to manage the complications. And at the end, in our day-to-day activities, we are contributing to the protection and promotion of patient and consumer safety by enabling the safe and effective use of the products. Thank you so much. That's all. Thank you.
Now we are moving from examples about aesthetics and cosmetics to medical devices. Our second speaker will be Dr. Monir El Azzouzi. Dr. Monir was with us in early today, so he will give a presentation about Matereovigilance. Dr. Monir is a medical device expert specialized in quality and regulatory affairs. He has worked for multiple medical device companies where he acquired more than 15 years of experience. Within his experience, he had developed quality, and Regulatory Affairs Department. Expertise, obtain CE marking for medical devices, register products all over the world, deal with audits and management representatives. Please join me welcoming Dr. Monir.
So thanks again for ACRAS for invitation to this conference. So today I wanted to talk to you about Matereovigilance for medical devices. So how this is working will be a bit technical sometimes, so I just try to explain to you the full process so that you have a clear understanding of that. But let's start. So yeah, so you had already my introduction. So I'm a medical device expert specialized in quality and regulatory affairs, and I worked for many big companies. And mainly when we are talking about Matereovigilance, the idea is first to understand that it's not just when the issue is happening that you are starting to understand how you should report it. You have to have everything already written inside your quality management system. So here we have a vigilance reporting process inside the quality management system. It starts with the quality manual where we have the mention of the SOP, the standard procedure that is talking about the vigilance reporting. Then you have the SOP that you have within your system, which is a standard operating procedure that is explaining to you in a big picture how you are doing this vigilance reporting. Inside this SOP, you are also mentioning all the reporting forms that you are using, so mainly how you will write those documentation. And then you have all the reporting forms that are attached as a forms that each time there is an incident, you can pick each form one by one and fill them and send them maybe to the authorities. So we have the form like an incident investigation form, the vigilance reporting for USA, for EU, for any other country like SFDA also maybe, the CAPA forms, the health hazard evaluation form, the field safety notice form, the risk management form. So you see that we have a lot of documentation that to understand and really make it clear what is the issue, how you solve the issue, what is the investigation that you are doing. So first on the process, how it's working. So as I said, you build all this quality management system with all the documentation, and you wake up in the morning and you get a call from maybe a sales rep or from a hospital saying, oh, we have a big incident, we have to look at that. So you are receiving this information. First thing that you have to do is to do evaluation. Is it really a high-risk incident, a low-risk incident? Is it something that you have to act immediately, or is it something that you can wait, if I can say it's just a small issue? So you have really to make this investigation. You are looking first your regulatory process. What are the timelines for reporting? I will show you later some timelines that you have to use. Type of information to report. Is there a risk already known? So maybe this is a risk that you already had managed before and you know that this can happen, so that it's fine. Or it's a completely new risk and then you have maybe to put in place some more efforts to understand. You have also to look at the dossier so when we are talking about a specific product, so maybe you have to look at the dossier if there was maybe an issue during manufacturing, like you have a non-conformance that you have solved during manufacturing, if there are any tests that were done also about the product. So if you have reserved the product, maybe you can test the products and verify if this is really happening or not. And you have also the clinical aspect. If this issue is isolated or reproducible, if there is a high risk for the patients or not, if you should stop now to the product and advise user to use another one. So it means that users are still continuing to use the product, and mainly if they continue to use the product, they can have some issues. So you say, stop my products, but here is my competitor's product, and sometimes it's the authorities that oblige you to find a competitive product that you can advise. And there also, if there is any trend. So you see, you don't have just to resolve an incident and just wait and try to answer. You have first to sit down and really make a full investigation of what is the issue, why it happened, to really identify the root cause. This is mainly what the authorities are asking you. What is the root cause of this issue, so that you can really target this when you are making your evaluation. So in terms of risks, as I've told you, you have also to identify if the risk is known or not known. So mainly if it is a known risk that you had already identified before, so you have normally when you do a risk management, you have to evaluate if the frequency of occurrence of this risk, does it happen a lot of times or it's really rare? The gravity also of the risks. So is it something that can kill someone, or is it something that has no negligible effect on people? So you have also then, as soon as you are receiving those information from the field, to update that. Maybe you have considered that this risk is really, the frequency of occurrence is really low, but now that you receive the 7th issue, so maybe now you have to update this occurrence to make it maybe higher than what you have. So you have also to update your risk information. And if it's a risk that was not known, then you have to include that in your risk management and do all the additional activities to define what is the status of this risk and how you can reduce the risk and solve the risk. So when you have made all this investigation, you have discussed with your team, you are the expert. So you are the one that should make those investigations, make the evaluation. You should not send that to the authorities and say, oh, can you verify this or verify that? No, you are the expert, you verify, you gather the data, you make your analysis, you define your root cause, you make everything. And then what's happening is that you are gathering in a meeting. We call that like a vigilance reporting meeting or alert meeting. So where you are sitting maybe with the CEO of the company, with all the other people, and you are discussing about this case, what is the risk of having those products on the field? Can they stay there? Should be recalled or not? And then you are, after coming out of this meeting, you have to take a decision. Or the first one, you say, no, we evaluated and everything is fine, so there is nothing to recall, nothing to report, everything is okay. Or you open a CAPA because mainly you had some corrections to do with your process, or you have a complete recall because there is a big risk on the market and you have a field safety corrective action to initiate on that. It is your decision, but your decision should make sense. Because if it doesn't make sense, the authorities will not accept it and will ask you maybe will decide at your place. So then you send all those information to the authorities. The authorities are receiving the information. Usually it's a electronic form that you are filling, and you are informing about the situation of your company, the situation of the products, what you have, as I said, the investigation or what you have done. I will show you a form and how to fill that also. So there are also some timing indicated, which means that it's not like you are receiving an incident and you say, okay, let's look at that in the next month, or let's wait for 2 months and then we can look at that. No, they have a specific timing with specific cases for each of the root cause, if I can say. So if your incident is considered by you, and by what is mentioned as in definition as what is serious incident, considered by you as serious, then you have less than 15 days to answer, to report and to answer to that. So during those 15 days, as I've said to you, you have to do those investigations, those meetings, those things, so that you can get a clear answer to provide to the authorities. If it's a serious public threat, so mainly something that can impact a lot of people, so it's less than 2 days, so you have really to act immediately. And if there is death or unanticipated serious deterioration, then it is 10 days to report. So the reporting process. Mainly in Europe, everywhere in Europe, we are using the MIR form. So Manufacturer Incident Report form. That is used to report incidents under MDR, IVDR, I mean all the different elements. So this form is having multiple pages, which means that you have really to be careful on what you are writing inside. So section 1, it's an administrative information. Your company, what you are doing, etc. I mean, the case and everything. Medical device information, what is the product that we are talking about? What is the incident, exactly information about how it happened, etc. Who informed also about this incident? The manufacturer analysis, so what's your analysis of the issue, what you think is the problem, and then how you have planned to solve it, and then general comments, and then you send that to the authorities. When you are filling this form, there are multiple places where they are asking you for some codes. And here, when we are asking for some codes, you have to go to some other annexes that are existing. So we have all the annexes that are mentioned. So you see here, for example, in section 3 of the MIR form, you have a lot of places where they ask you for codes. So these codes are coming from the IMDRF guidances, and they are all here. So Annex A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So each of those annexes is providing you a code. The first code is the medical device problem. So you cannot just write what you think is the problem. You have to try to find in a list of codes which problem is really linked to that. It's helping the authorities because then they will really summarize per code and they know exactly which section or which department should look at that. Because if you write what you think, maybe there is some misunderstanding there. Annex B, so cause investigation, the type of investigation that you have performed for that. So you have really to be clear on that. The cause, the investigation finding, what did you find on it? The investigation conclusion, so mainly what you have concluded after that, etc., etc. So all those things, you have to find the right code that is really fitting with your case, with your organization, with all what you have done. And I'm really advising you to be careful on filling all this. I have a case this morning, so while I had the ACRAS, that somebody called me and said, oh, we had been rejected by the authorities for this, and they are asking us now to recall everything. But when I looked at their case, they have not explained correctly at all their issue, not explained correctly at all what they have done, the investigation and everything. They took it as a small issue, and then they consider that it's not a problem, we will just correct something quickly and it will be fine. No, if they had really correctly filled all the fields, with all the codes, with all the details, with all the information, the misunderstanding will not be happening, and then they will be going without making a recall. Now the authorities ask them, make a recall. So it's not like, it's not discussion anymore, it's make a recall. So to avoid all that, as I've said, you have really to be careful writing all those documents, thinking that any information that you are providing can be not satisfactory for the authorities, and that you have to show that you are really taking that seriously and that you are really trying to put something in place to avoid this issue. So, for example, I take a case just for you. So a respiratory issue. So the ventilator used within a healthcare facility, so it was heating too much until it burned. The manufacturer identified that there was a damage on the cooling system, which permitted that there is not enough air coming to cool down the device components. The lead to the patient's respiratory, this leads, if I can say, to the patient respiratory insufficiency. The alarm also raised after the patient was suffering of a miss of oxygen. This led to a serious injury, but fortunately it's created only a temporary impairment. The manufacturer started an analysis of the production records. As soon as the product was returned, they identified a failure to calibrate the fan system. This is due to an inadequate training. So here I explained to you the case. I highlighted I bolded, if I can say, all the text. That is really important because those texts are exactly what are written inside those annexes that I've told you. And here, when you are looking now for the medical device code problem, if you go to the IMDRF Annex A, then you are finding that it's the code A1003. If you look for the type of investigation, it's B14. If you look to the investigation finding, it's C1302. Investigation conclusion D08, etc., etc. So you see all the codes that are exactly matching with this case, and it's exactly those codes that should be mentioned on this form. So you can spend a bit of time because you have to look at each code one by one, say maybe this, maybe that, etc. But try to be really precise as much as possible so that the authorities, as I've said, are really getting all the information. If you miss to provide some information, for them it's like they don't have all the details and maybe it's a serious case and they don't inform us, etc. So you have really to provide as much information as possible so that the authorities are really conscious, if I can say, of this case. So as soon as you have sent this MIR form, you have also to work on what we call a field software notice. So what is happening now on the field, how you will do the activities. Is there a plan of a recall? Is there a plan of, I mean, what is exactly the plan here? So the information on affected devices, the reason for the field safety corrective action. So what is the reason that you are doing all that? The risk that you are trying to mitigate, the information, the transmission of the field safety notice to the authorities. And you have also some question and answers notice to how to fill this document. So this is important that you are following this by making the MIR form, then making this field safety notice, which is the document that will be used to communicate also to the public and what exactly are the information that they will get. The fact that maybe they have to do something also themselves to check this, to check that, or to recall, to just resend the product. So you have really to make this in this document clear also, because it will not be seen only by authorities, but also by public people. So it looks like that. I will not zoom here, but the urgent field safety notice of this device. So you see they make some pictures, they make explanations of everything. They ask you also to fill a form. The form is, for example, how many devices do you have within your health facility? Can you provide me the serial number, code, or lot number? Can you please confirm that you have understood what you have to do, or if we need the sales rep to come to you, etc. So you are giving instructions, and you are asking them also a proof of acknowledgement of receipt, a proof that they have really understood what we are talking about. And then you should maybe get also that back to you so that you understand, yes, I got the proof that they have received that, they made the action and they've done everything. So you can inspire yourself, because I had to do this kind of exercise a lot. And at the first time I had to do it, I said, how should I do that? So you can inspire yourself, because there are public places where these data are available. So each authority, competent authority, has a website where they are listing all the safety notice that they are providing to the public. It's publicly available on, for example, ANSM. I put just website to ANSM or HPRA for Ireland. You go there and you can see all the safety notice for every manufacturer one by one. So what I'm doing usually is that I'm trying to find a manufacturer that has an issue, has the same product as me, that has maybe had an issue. I look at their field safety notice, I read it, and I inspire myself from it to create mine. So this is also the idea to not try to recreate what maybe somebody has done correctly also. So going to this website will help you to really make those field safety notice good. And you have also some specialized website, which is, for example, MedBoard. So MedBoard is a website that is not only for, that's the Google of medical devices. So where you can get all the information about legislation, website, you can even type the name of a product and you can get all the history of this product, registration, everything, and you can see if this product has also some recourse, some field safety corrective action, where then you can just click and see what is the document for this type of product. So this is kind of website that I'm really recommending to use in case you are really looking for specific information about a certain product. So in Europe, now, I mean, it doesn't exist for the moment. In Europe now we have what we call the EUDAMED database. So the EUDAMED database is a database that will collect all the information of all products that are registered in the European Union. So you can compare it to the FDA database, where you have all the information about the products that are authorized in the US, plus the MODE database, which is the one for reporting of the field safety corrective action for the US market. And we don't have that in Europe. So now they are creating that. They have already 3 modules that are available, which are the economic operators module, where you are registering a manufacturer, authorized representative, importer, etc. And you have the device module where you are registering your device. Then you have the notified body and certificate module where they are registering the certificate, CE certificate of the company. So you can go there and find the CE certificate of the company directly. And then there are 3 additional modules that are still not published: the vigilance and post-marketing surveillance module, the clinical investigation module, and the market surveillance module. So here it's more about the vigilance and clinical investigation module that are needed in that case. As soon as they will be available, each time you will have a vigilance reporting, you can also register that directly on this module, which will then be reported directly to the different authorities. Even when you have a clinical investigation, you have to do a reporting. So this is also something that is important here. Reporting is not only for products that are on the market. If you are already doing a clinical investigation and there was an issue during the clinical investigation, you have also to report that. So this information that you are using for reporting can also come out from your post-marketing surveillance system, which is a system where you are collecting information from the field and then identifying if there is maybe a potential issue that you have missed. The potential issue can be a trend also. So it means that you have sometimes maybe small issues, but you have so many that it starts to become a trend. And even if it's a small issue that is not impacting too much, as soon as you have small issues, we have to report that to the authorities because trend reporting is also an event that should be reported. So don't consider that, oh, because you have the same small issue many times, it's fine, it's just under the radar. No, this is also something that you have to report. There is a specific case where you say it's a trend reporting, where you say it's not a major issue, but as we have many more cases than usual, we consider it a trend and then we are reporting that to you. So in terms of documentation or procedures, you have first your documents like regulatory compliance procedure, where it tells you how you communicate with the authorities, so you have to define that. You have your vigilance reporting procedure. As I showed to you, you are also explaining how you are executing if the vigilance reporting, if it's happening. And you have your post-marketing surveillance procedure, where you talk also about you have to report in case there is a trend reporting for this kind of thing. So now the case is, for example, that you are located in Saudi Arabia or in the US or in Europe or wherever, and you say, okay, but should I create one procedure for each country one by one? My advice is no. My advice is to do one procedure that can contain all the countries' information. So mainly what you have to do is that you can create a common procedure where you have at the beginning maybe of the procedure some common processes, what is the definition of adverse event, field safety corrective action, which are normally the same everywhere. Maybe some explanation on how you will get informed about an issue, which can be the same everywhere, and maybe communicate to everybody at the same moment. And then when you have identified that, yes, there is a reporting trigger here, then you say, okay, it's in Europe, so let's have a specific chapter, how to do that in Europe. So you say, I fill the MIR form, I do this, I do that. When you are going to the US, maybe you have to fill another registry with the mode database. When you go to SFDA, you have to go to this website, etc., to do that. So you can write that directly on one procedure. You can have also one table, like this table that is here, to say when, for each country, you should report an issue, at which moment, for which case, etc. And there are also some information here, and you can see that here. Information here like if the incident should be reported, even if it has happened outside of the country. So here, for example, Brazil, it says yes within 10 days, or USA, it says yes within 30 days. So it means even if the issue happened outside of the country for a product that is sold in the country, then you have to report that to the FDA. So these information are really critical, and you have them to align your vigilance procedure with all the other countries also, so that you are matching that. You can also have multiple procedures, one for each country, but it depends on your strategy. On this case, my advice is more to go for one procedure for one country. One procedure for all the countries, which is better. Okay, so I'm done here. Try to explain you quickly how this is working for vigilance reporting. So not sure if you have any question or if there is any point that you want me to be more precise on that.
Thank you, Dr. Monir. Thank you, Marian, for the insightful and very informative presentations. And now we have like 10 minutes for Q&As. And let me start with a question, Marian. If we have anyone here raising hands? Okay, so Marian, you mentioned in your presentation that, sorry? You don't have this? Okay. Madre, I'm not sure if it is working. It's not. Yeah. So one of the most important activities for vigilance you talked about is reporting and data collection. And this is the first step and the step that based on it, all the further steps are based. So can you tell us from your long experience within the companies, what do you do to encourage reporting, increase reporting in terms of numbers and quality as well?
Thank you, Samah, actually, for this question, because as I just mentioned during my presentation, the collection of the data is one of the fundamental activities. And without those data and the collection, we cannot proceed with any other further steps of investigation and analysis and assessment. So actually, we usually have a certain training session during the onboarding of any new joiners in our companies. Also, we have annual training, not only for the internal employees, but also for any external third parties, whether vendors, distributors, anyone we are engaging with or they are working on behalf of us. We are working to train them how to report adverse events. This is very, very important. Definitely, we have also some certain sessions to increase the awareness. I can remember also last year, I had the chance to lead the safety campaign when actually we started as an internal employee to share this importance of reporting with our family and start to take some photos and videos while our kids and our friends, how they learned the message. So we saw some kids drawing some very good pictures related to the safety information and reporting safety information. So we have such kind of safety campaign. I also consider such kind of summit, and also we have so many other conferences during the year where we are working on this vigilance and increase the awareness among all stakeholders on how to report adverse event. Because as I mentioned, it's the basic actually. This is what we build everything on it. Hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah, sure.
Hello. Thank you so much, Marian, for the very interesting topic. I would like to ask you regarding the Salesforce team. For example, for the Salesforce team on the daily basis, their daily job actually to see the HCBs on daily basis. And do you think it's a good opportunity to be proactive and ask the doctor proactively if they are facing any adverse event for our portfolio, or just to wait until it's be on a reactive basis? So what do you think?
It's a fantastic question, actually. Thank you. So actually, just to let you know, we have two sources of safety information or adverse event. Either it's a spontaneous one, and this is actually the mainly or the main one, the main channel. The other one is a solicited one, where we go and ask, etc. But this should be designed one. This is under the category of studies, and we have some certain rules and regulations and process to monitor such kind of studies and programs. Back to your question, that's why we are not asking from proactive approach. We usually leave it to spontaneous report. We are not going to solicit the adverse event or the safety information. This is not what we are asking from anyone working in the field. We just need them to be aware of the responsibility of reporting adverse event, how they can recognize the adverse event or the medical device complaint or any other safety information. They need to be mindful on this, and how to report it when they are in front of adverse event, how they can report it in an appropriate way. But definitely we are not asking for any proactive unless it's a designed program for this and monitored with a certain procedures and rules and regulations. Did I answer your question?
Keep it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
Hello, my question is for Dr. Monir. My name is Liliana. I work as a regulatory affairs for medical devices and cosmetics in the UK and the EU. My question is a little bit related with your previous session. I did not have the opportunity to pose this question, and if you don't mind, I'll pose it now. So my question is about the products with non-medical purpose under Annex 16. We are experiencing a bottleneck for notified bodies in the EU for CE marking of these devices. So the common specifications were published. We have now a 6-month period for the manufacturers to accommodate these new common specifications for this kind of products. From your experience and your knowledge, do you think that manufacturers will be able to comply with these 6 months transition period, or do you think that this kind of aesthetics equipments and the aesthetic medical devices would have to be taken off the market until they have been certified in accordance with Annex 16? Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question. So first, it was not really adopted for the moment, the common specification. We had the first vote. It's an anticipated vote. As I've said maybe during the presentation, I was trying to find the information if this is final, but what I heard is that there is still a vote that is needed about this transition period. They are still looking for voting on this transition period. But if we follow strictly the regulation, it's impossible for a medical device manufacturer, or no, for a cosmetic manufacturer, or aesthetic manufacturer that has never been under the medical device regulation to meet this timeline. It's already difficult to meet this timeline for any manufacturer that is under medical devices. Actually, if you are a manufacturer of medical devices and try to get CE marking, you can wait maybe 2 years before to get that. 18 to 24 months, which is the actual situation. So asking an aesthetic company that maybe has never been manufacturing a medical device, following the medical device regulation before to make everything within 6 months is impossible. But if we want really to reduce the gap, mainly the idea is that first they are really working ahead of the publication of any common specification on their quality management system, technical documentation, everything should be ready so that when their common specification is really published and you have really to use them, they will then be able to contact a notified body and work with them, because now actually notified bodies don't want to talk to any aesthetic manufacturers until the common specification is published. So this is something that should, as I said, arrive soon. But yeah, this is what it is. The thing is also that you have to use what we call the principle of placing on the market. This is a principle that a lot of people don't really understand, but placing on the market is the fact that the product is already at the moment of the previous regulation or before the common specification is published, is placed on the market in the European Union. So all products that are placed on the market in the European Union are compliant to the regulation at that moment. So they cannot be recalled, they cannot be not used, etc. They can continue to be used because at the moment where they were touching, if I can say, the European floor, they were compliant. Only products that are placed on the market after the common specification is published then should follow the EU MDR and everything that is mentioned there within the next 6 months. So these are some technical aspects here, but to answer your question, it will be really difficult. What I was expecting, and it's mainly what the thing that I thought that they will do. Actually, there is a lack of notified bodies, so it means that we have a lot of manufacturers that are looking for a notified body that are not finding it, or you have a notified body, but it gives you maybe, as I said, 18 or 24 months to get a certificate, etc. So it's a big number. And what I was hoping is that they will push this common specification to be published maybe really late, after even the 2024, so that it can give some breath, if I can say, to notified bodies. But apparently they want really to push it, so this is what will happen. But the transition period maybe will be changed, not 6 months, but maybe more. This is what we are expecting now.
Any further questions? Okay, I would like to thank the speakers, Marian and Monir. Thank you so much. And let me leave the floor for the next session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Samah. Thank you, everyone.